Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shreyanshi Bhatt and today we are going to start our 7th lecture of the CSE 101 playlist, and this lecture is about dynamic programming. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so what is dynamic programming? Dynamic programming is basically solving complex problems by breaking it into smaller sub-problems. And we save the solutions to the sub-problems. And there are two approaches of solving a DP problem, which is a top to down approach or a bottom up approach. So in a top down approach, we first write the recursion solution and then we memoize it. So what does this word memoization means is basically we will use some kind of array called a DP array. It could be a 1D array or a 2D array depending on the problem that is given to us, and then we will save the solutions to the sub problems in that array so that we don't have to recalculate the um, iteration that we have already done before, right? The problem that we had seen in the recursion earlier. So we will store the solution to that sub problem so that we will avoid redundant calculations. And what happens in bottom up is that we will use tabulation, which is basically done by loops. So again we will have a DP array, but this time we will find solutions to these sub problems first and then go up to finally solve this larger problem. So you need to know that not all problems can be solved by using dynamic programming, okay? You have to satisfy these two characteristics for a problem to be satisfied by DP. So what are these two characteristics? They are overlapping subproblems and optimal substructure. So this optimal substructure means this: like a big problem's best answer is the best answer of smaller problems combined. So see, here we have a larger problem and various sub problems. Now if we want to find the optimal solution for this, we will need to find the optimal solutions for these smaller sub problems, and when we will combine their solutions, we will find the answer to this. So that is what is meant by optimal substructure, and what it means by overlapping sub problems is, see, in the last lecture also we talked about how we need to calculate fib of 3 again here and here. So these are overlapping sub problems, right? Because once if we calculate it here, there is no need of recalculating it for this branch, right? And for this also, fib of 2 also. So these are overlapping sub problems. So this property needs to be satisfied for a problem to be solved by DP. Okay, so let's see the same example of Fibonacci sequence, which it is called a sequence if we need to be precise as per mathematics. Okay, so if we are solving Fibonacci sequence using DP by memoization, so this is how we will do it. Let me explain the code to you. So we have this function called fib of memo, and we have two parameters. What are they? Firstly, the number of which we want the Fibonacci sequence, and this memo is basically a list, okay? So if n is less than or equal to 1, we will return n. If n not in memo, then memo of n is equals to fib memo n minus 1 comma memo plus fib memo n minus 2 comma memo. Otherwise we will just return memo. So what this statement is doing is that if we don't have the value of that subproblem already, then only calculate it. But if we have it, then we will directly return that value. So that is how we implement memoization in DP. It's the same solution, we just added this memo, which is the extra space where we will store the answer to the subproblem to avoid redundant calculations. Okay, now how will we solve Fibonacci sequence? Using DP is by tabulation. See, so here we have this function called fib of tab, and this is a bottom up solution, this is not a top down solution. So here also we have this array of dp 0, 1. Now in I range 2 to n plus 1. Why we are taking n plus 1? Because this will not be included, it will only go from 2 till n. And dp dot append dp of I minus 1 plus I minus 2. So we will append it to this dp array, and then ultimately we will return dp of n. So see. So we have this 0 and 1 initially. Now we are going from 2 till, let's say, n is equal to 5. Okay. So now if we do fib tab of n equal to 5, then we have this array dp. This is the dp array. Okay. Now for I in range 2 to n plus 1, we will basically just dp dot append dp of I minus 1 plus dp of I minus 2. So when I value is 2, so dp of 1 plus dp of 0, that will be stored in here. We will append it. Okay, this is not a fixed size array, we are appending it on the go, but just for the explanation purpose I have drawn this fixed size array. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1. Just like for the third index, we will have 1 plus 2. This index's value plus this index's value, that will be 2, and so on. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5. So we will get the answer as 5. Okay, so that's how DP works for bottom up. And now what are the steps to implement DP, like how to approach a DP problem. So first we will define the sub problem. Like in our Fibonacci examples, we said that f of n is equals to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2, right? So this is the larger problem f of n, and these are the smaller sub problems. So first we will define that. Then we will write the recurrence function. Then we will choose if we want to use memoization, that is the top down approach, or tabulation, which is the bottom up approach. And lastly, we will optimize either space or time depending on what our problem is and if it is optimizable or not. Okay. So these are the steps to implement DP. So that is it for today's lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening to me till the end. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to make this beautiful grandma happy. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.